Hello there, it's Jay here from Jay's Vintage Junk, and today we're going to tackle the Sega Mega Drive arcade power stick. I've been looking forward to having a look at this. Now this hasn't got anything majorly wrong with it. It's not as though it's a basket case or anything. It's just got one fault on it, and that is I'll switch the Mega Drive on so you can see. Now if you've watched my previous video, you've already seen this. So basically, once you power it up, everything works on the controller apart from one thing, and that's these Mega Fire buttons. If you notice, when you switch them on, they have a little LED that lights up to just indicate that it's on, and the last one doesn't work, doesn't do anything. I think the Mega Fire actually works, it's just the actual LED isn't lighting up, so it could be as simple as a bad LED, or it could be whatever drives it. So that's what we're going to have a look at in this video. I'll switch the Mega Drive off and unplug it, but I'm going to keep the Mega Drive set up there for the simple fact it's to make sure that that's working or not. We actually need power to the joystick, and obviously that means we can test everything as we go. Right, I'll get a screwdriver and we will we'll get inside this thing. Right, okay. So see how we get in here now. There's something at the back holding it. Oh, there we go. Okie dokie. This is going to be a little more tricky than I first thought to work on, but it's not impossible. Let's just make sure there's nothing simple like a loose connection. I don't think so. Pop that out of there. In fact, it looks like we'll be able to take this board out and just work on this board. That's the actual joystick itself. I'm slightly dismayed to see it doesn't actually use micro switches. It just uses them little push dome switches by the look of it. I thought at first that the case was metal. It's not, it's plastic. It's just the base plate, the really heavy base plate that's metal. Right. These screws all have a satisfying crack when you undo them, which is a good indication that no one's had them out before. Now, do we have to take those four out as well? Yes, we do. That's like, I'm guessing that's been put on there as reinforcement, because that's where the three main buttons are, and that's where it's going to get the abuse when it's being used in anger. Right, that should be the last screw. Right, okay, we've got, right, so oh dear, it uses those, they're like a TV remote control style button. So I'm sorry to say, you really cheaped out on this thing. yeah, that's what it's basically using for everything. Lovely. Those are the fire button switches. Yeah, it is. They definitely cheaped out on the design on this. That's the one that's causing issue. I think we found the fault straight away. Those are nice and tight. That feels loose. Yep, we've got a dry joint. That's all it is, I think. I don't know if you can make this out. Let me see if I can get you zoomed in so you can see this. I bet the camera's not going to want to focus on this now. Come on. Come on, focus on the board. There you go. I don't know if you can make that out down there, but we've got a dry joint there. Simple as that. Right. Before we go any further then, let me get that on shot so you can actually see it. We'll get the soldering iron warmed up. Is it honestly going to be this simple? Is it another one where it's a super simple little fix? Right, well, where is that one that we're looking at? It's that one there. It's that connection. Oh, you're not on shot. It's that connection right there that's the dry joint. Can't see anything else that looks bad. Just that one connection there. Right. Solder. Where is my solder? Oh, there it is. You get a little piece of solder. The iron's up to temperature. Right, okay. You can still see that. And I think it is just a case. And we'll do this side as well. There we go. Put that out of harm's way. Let us have a look. You can see the board now. It's that one there, and it's not rocking anymore. Right. Let me get you zoomed out a little bit. Oops, that's the wrong way. There we go. That's better, isn't it? There. Right. Now, what I'm going to do, we'll plug the just the bare board back into the Mega Drive and switch on. Now I'm wondering whether my the actual touch of my fingers is going to be enough to activate this. Yes, it will be. So if we have a look, if I switch, perhaps not. Let me try and take one of these contacts out of here. I don't want to bridge it with a screwdriver because I risk actually. It's funny that you can touch that one and it will actually get the game to switch, but those won't. Let's take one of the contact pads off the thing. We'll put that over there. Try pressing that one. There we go. See that lit? That one works. That one worked before. We'll try that one on that one there. That works. And this one is the one that didn't work before. So let's give that a try. Look at that. That works. Lovely. So yeah, it was literally just a dry joint. We'll switch the Mega Drive back off. I think what we'll do, while we're in here, we might as well have a little bit of a clean. It won't do any harm. If it wasn't something as simple as that dry joint, I'd suspect perhaps it was just a bad LED, so we'd try that. Other than that, I suspect that 1, 2, 3, these transistors here are actually what are being used for that auto fire. So it could have been that the Pt3 there could have been faulty. I'm surmising that's what the transistors are being used for anyway. I guess a little bit of isopropyl, and all I want to do is before it goes back together, I just want to give these gold contacts a bit of a clean, because these are what cause basically issues in these type of joysticks. And seeing we're in here anyway, and I'm pretty sure no one's been in here before to do this, because them screws did feel like they'd never been out before. In fact, those contacts are really nice. They're in really nice condition. What we can do is just give the contacts on the other side of here a really gentle little wipe off, and then just quickly dry them off again, just to get them nice, because they had a bit of crud on them. You don't want to really wipe them well with IPA, because you do risk actually taking the carbon off them. But a tiny little clean like that can help, because these are quite dirty actually. I'll just do them in situ. It's probably easier to do them actually in situ here. But just a quick wipe over and then dry it off with the other side, and we're just getting the bits of muck that was on there. I'll have a quick wipe round as well, because there's a fair bit of dust around that. Same here. Give them a quick wipe off, because all three of them have got a bit of muck and crud on them, so it's nice just to get it off like that while we're in here anyway. In fact, there's a fair bit of fluff in there. I wonder, I tell you what, see, I've got it all apart. Let's get that board out of the way, because we know the board's happy now. Now, I'm not going to mess with the joystick itself, but let's take these off. Let's just have a little bit of a clean where we can. There's things we can clean here easily, which are a pain when the controller's actually together. So we'll get them buttons out. Get all the buttons out there. And what we can do is just, we can have a bit of a clean and get some of the muck and rubbish where you can't normally get easily. One place I do want to clean is in them holes that the LEDs stick through, because they did look a little bit on the mucky side. Which, I mean, there's no, you know, it's places you can't really get to clean, but if you've got it apart like that, there we go, got all the dust out of them. That's okay. It's just really the dust that gets stuck in them little grooves in there. Like I said, while I've got the fire buttons out, it's easy enough to clean that off. And again, we can just give the fire buttons a quick clean around while we've got them out like this. Just get the worst of the inbuilt grime off them, really. These aren't too bad. I've seen them a lot worse. These are pretty good actually. And we've got to make sure we put them back facing the right way. You don't want, because obviously they've got a printing on them. They've also got a keyway. So you go in one way like that. That one's not bad at all. Just get a little bit of IPA on it and just give it a quick clean. while we're in here. That's not bad. Drop that through, just make sure it's in the right place. B, yep. In fact, this C is probably the dirtiest of the lot. And even that one's not terrible. You can't see, there's a bit of muck coming off them. Just make sure that they're all in the right places. Yeah, that's right. And again, we'll give these a quick wipe down just where they pass through, so it looks a little bit cleaner. There we go. And slide them back in there. Again, that one doesn't look really very dirty. It's not got anything that nasty on it. It's got a bit of fluff in it. I mean, considering when was this made? 1990. It's actually surprisingly good condition inside. You know, it's not full of all tarnish and corrosion or muck or anything. It's in really good condition in that respect. That one's a bit dirty. That's had something spilt on it. I can tell straight away. It's like got a sticky residue on it. Let's get a new cotton bud. I can feel like a sticky, probably 25-year-old orange juice or Coca-Cola or something like that. Yeah, that one's definitely got a sticky residue on it. It's coming up. It's all come off. Yeah, that's all come off. There we go. That's better. It has to go in that way around. We'll just get the muck off these that's on there. Because all that dust will do is end up contaminating what we've just done, so we might as well get it off, make them as clean as we can, and they can go back in position. There we go, that's that one in. Pop that one back in. This is the last one. This is the dirtiest one actually. Get all that muck and look at that. Get all that muck and rubbish off. There we go. Do that a quick clean on that side there. We'll stick that back in. That sits in there like that. That's our start button. Right, so all we need to do is put the controller board. and we need to make sure that those LEDs line up correctly as it goes back in. In fact, this might be a little bit fiddly. Oh no, has that gone in? Let's have a quick check on the other side. Nope. What I'll do is I will I'll come back to you when I've got this board all settled back in place. So back in a sec. Okay, and we're all back together. That was a little bit more of a faff than I thought. The problem was you've got a little slider control there, and I try as I might, every time I got the board lined up, I got that slider to move out of position, so it wasn't actually locked in and the actual control wasn't sliding the slider control on the PCB. I finally managed to fiddle it and get it so it actually locked in and all three LEDs are in position. So hopefully, all I really need to do now, I need to reconnect that connector there, make sure that's pushed in home. That I've already connected. I've put all the screws back in. So if we put the base plate back on now. Screw it back together. Okay, last screw. Okay, there we go. Right, so moment of truth. Yes, we've got all our LEDs showing through nicely there now. We'll connect it back up to the Saga, switch the Saga on. Let's just make sure that the buttons that we've fixed, well, we've cleaned, still work. So press start. There we go. You can see all those buttons now work nicely. Seems to be working nicely. So that's basically it. That seems to be repaired. So that's the one that wasn't lighting up. Unfortunately, it was just as simple as a dry joint on that connector there on that LED. But all the others are working as they were doing. So that's basically it, and like I said, while we was in there, we gave all the contacts for these buttons a good clean, because we might as well. I mean, the contacts themselves are gold-plated contacts. They're not really going to tarnish or be too bad. Just give them a quick wipe over. The problem you have with these is those little carbon conductive contacts. They're the same thing as used in like TV remote controls, and unfortunately what happens is they basically just stop conducting over time. Now those weren't in bad condition or anything, but they had started getting a little bit gooed up and a little bit grimy, so we just give them a really careful and gentle just clean down, just for peace of mind really, more than anything else. So I mean, this thing should work for many years to come now. It was in good working order anyway. It's just I can understand someone if they've got something like this wanting every little thing to work. So yeah, that LED now functions, and the best thing is we didn't even have to change the LED. We didn't have to try and colour match the LED or anything, because it was simple as a dry joint. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there for now. I hope you enjoyed this little, really quick little project video, really. So, thanks for watching, and goodbye.